Today on Omni Garage, we're going to be playing with DIY Details water spot remover. We've got the 2007 WRX that is due for a decontamination, so we'll have a play with this product and put it to the test on the WRX.
So we have given the car a really good clean. We have also decontaminated using the DIY Detail decontamination towel and iron remover. So now it is time to use the water spot remover. Now, we're not really going to be able to remove water spots, but what we're going to be able to do is use this product to do a mineral cleanse. Now, if you have visible water spots, what happened is that the minerals have dried onto the surface, and over time they have been able, well, they have etched themselves deep into the clear coat. That is causing etching. You're probably not going to be able to remove that. You might have to polish it, etc. Typically, water spot removers will not remove the etching, which is a visible sign of water spots. What the water spot remover will be able to do is basically remove the minerals that haven't etched, that are on the surface of the paint, and clean those away, so that you're basically preventing the ability of you to, or the ability of those minerals to deeper into the clear coat to produce what you would see visibly as a water spot. So we're going to use this as a mineral cleanse to help clean up the surface so that we don't have any minerals that could potentially cause etching. And now, why would you want to do this? If you want to go on and do like a full like a full paint correction, a multi-step correction, what you'd want to do is you want to decontaminate the surface. You'd also want to do a mineral cleanse so that you remove those minerals from the surface so they're not getting built up into your pads, etc. And it's also just keeping the surface nice and clean. The other reason is that if you had like a ceramic coating and you wanted to revive the ceramic coating, you might want to do a mineral cleanse to help remove the minerals that are built up onto the surface that are basically reducing the ability of that ceramic coating to shed water. So those are the two sort of reasons why you'd want to do it. Now behind me, this car's got a 5-year ceramic coating on it. It's been on there for a couple of years. So I want to do a mineral cleanse just to spruce up the surface so that I can continue to have really good hydrophobics of the ceramic coating behind me. I'm going to get my wash mitt that's been sitting in a bit of incredible suds. I'm just going to add a bit of soap to the surface just so that we've got some nice lubrication. And because we're working out here in direct sunlight, we're going to do sort of panel by panel. We're going to work really slowly, just so that we don't let that chemical dry onto the surface. Then I've got a nice clean towel here that's basically been dampened in our wash bucket. And I'm going to spray the water spot remover onto the surface, let it dwell for a little bit, and then I'm going to very lightly agitate with this dampened microfiber. And we don't have any visible water spots on the surface of this vehicle, so we wouldn't be able to show you if this is going to remove any water spots that haven't heavily etched themselves. But what this is going to do is just remove the minerals as a bit of a mineral cleanse from the surface of the vehicle.
And the reason why we don't have any visible water spots here is we're really careful with the wash process. We are using deionized water, and we make sure the vehicle's thoroughly dried when we're not using deionized water as well.
And that's a really good important note. So when you're going to get basically water spots, if you're not using DIY water, what happens is the water has got minerals in it. You let it dry on the surface, the water evaporates, you're left with the minerals, and over time what happens is they sort of just slowly etch and embed themselves into the surface of the clear coat through like a heat and shrink cycle. You know, if your car's parked outside, the clear coat will swell up, the minerals will go inside, the car then gets parked away or it cools down, locks them in, and it goes through those cycles, and what happens is that will then etch those minerals deep into the surface. So had some time to dwell there, and we're just going to basically wipe this on here
Now, you'll notice Glenn's not using any pressure here as well. This is more just a spreading of the product across the surface. So he's not trying to wipe it away.
Spreading in an agitation. If I was to keep flipping the surface, I want this to stay on here and basically do the breakdown of the minerals. If I was to keep flipping the surface and keep using a nice clean towel, I would be basically removing the product, which is not what I want it to do. I want it to stay on the surface to eat away those minerals.
And the sweet spot for the amount of time that you let this dwell on the surface, it depends on conditions. If you're in direct sunlight and it's hot, it's going to be far less time than in direct sunlight in cool weather. Obviously, if you're fully clouded over or you have the luxury of being able to work in an indoor wash bay, you can potentially work on bigger panels and take a little bit more time.
So now I'm just going to give this a really nice simple rinse down. So what you would have seen is that as I have rinsed the vehicle, the hydrophobics on this panel is better than this car has ever been. I'll show you again. The water beading is really, really good on here. When I compare it to this panel here that's freshly decontaminated, it's got nothing on the surface, you can see our water is actually quite stagnant in some areas.
Yeah, look at that. This whole middle panel, the water it's beating up a little bit, but it's very much sitting there.
I'll turn the pressure washer on and I'll show you a little bit more. So you can see in this middle part of the door here, we do get water beading, but nothing like this side. So what you see is pretty decent hydrophobics on this panel, but not so good, well, you still get good hydrophobics, but not as good as the other side. Now what's happening is a thing called the Lotus Effect. Now I'm definitely no chemist, I'm definitely new to this concept, but I know that we'll get questions like this in the comments, and so quite a lot of people have filmed this recently. Detailing Dogma has come out to make a video to explain this, and so has Ryan from Fine Detailing, and I've seen Ivan pop up in the comments. He's the main spokesperson for DIY Detail, and he has written an explanation about why this happens. And so I've jotted down. What I'll do is I'll post that comment in on top of the video and I'll explain my thoughts around it. So what is happening is called the Lotus Effect. Basically what happens is when I spray the water spot remover on there, it's an acid-based product. What's that doing is it's allowing the paint to release the minerals that are deposited on the surface. When they release it, it allows me to come along with my wash media, pick them up and remove those minerals as a mineral cleanse from the surface of the paint. Now, what typically happens is that sort of Lotus Effect stays active for a period of time. It's going to be different on different paint surfaces. It's going to be different depending on what else is on the surface of your vehicle, so you might get different results. But Ryan from Fine Detailing said that if you wash that with a really sort of high pH wash, an alkaline pH wash, that will sort of basically neutralize the Lotus Effect, and you'll sort of basically remove the product, stop the Lotus Effect, and you'll be back to sort of how your paint was beforehand. And so what happens is the effect of the Lotus Effect is this super hydrophobicity phenomenon, and it basically looks like we've got really, really good water beading. And people are really concerned that water spot remover with this specific acid, Ivan has written what acids this has compared to others, is that it's not only does it have an acid in it, but it's also altering the surface. Like people think maybe there's a protectant in there or something else that's causing the water beading, like an SiO2 or something like that, that's altering the surface to allow water beading. This is not happening, it's just the Lotus Effect. And that is now really good at preparing the surface, removing the minerals and preparing the surface for basically your last step protection, like, ceramic coating or putting on an SiO2 based product. And so the other thing that people get concerned is that if it's altering the surface and causing this really good water beading, how do I know that I've removed the minerals from the surface, and how do I know that that has restored the properties of my ceramic coating? And that's where the real concern is. People are like, well, I put this product on, I got really good hydrophobics. Was that the product that had helped improve the hydrophobics alone with like some water beading properties, or have I actually demineralized the surface and have I restored the properties of my ceramic coating? And so I guess that is a bit of concern, because how do you know? Is it the product or is it actually the ceramic coating that I've restored? I do understand that. And so Ryan from Farm Detailing, he came across with a high pH wash and he basically cleaned the surface, neutralized it, and that Lotus Effect was stopped. And so that's just to clear that up. I haven't done a really good job of explaining that, but I will put the comments up so people can go back and read that. And so that's sort of what we're going to see here. So when I do now clean the surface here with the water spot remover, we'll be removing the minerals, but also you're going to see that hydrophobics is really good. And that's just showing that Lotus Effect in action. So I guess the question still remains is that, have I restored the properties of the ceramic coating, or have I, or has this product sort of tricked me into thinking that the hydrophobics are really good? And so I guess if you go across with a pH neutral, with a high pH wash, and you knock off that Lotus Effect and your ceramic coating beads really well, I guess you've then proven that you've managed to restore the effects of the ceramic coating. And so I'm at no risk here of doing any scratching or anything like that, because we came through and we decontaminated this car before we did this. And so just agitating this product into the surface, really letting it eat away at the minerals, allowing me to then rinse that away. You can come along and rinse, and what you'll see is the hydrophobic's really good. That's just that Lotus Effect in action. So I guess now if I wanted to prove, is this the Lotus Effect that's causing the water beading, or is my ceramic coating truly dead, or is it good? If I was to come across with that high alkaline pH wash and I basically neutralize the surface, DIY Detail recommend you don't need to do that. But if I came across, neutralize that surface, and I still had really good water beading, you could then say my ceramic coating is still active and it's the ceramic coating causing the water beading. I'm not going to do that because I'm not concerned that this is dead. There you have it. We've gone through and shown you the process of how we use the DIY Detail water spot remover. So we appreciate we didn't have really bad water spots on the vehicle to show you if you can really knock them back. But I've shown you the process, and I've shown you how to do a minimal cleanse, which I think should actually be the name of the product, not necessarily a water spot remover, but more of a mineral cleanser. I've tried the best I can to explain the Lotus Effect, and just to show you what happens when you do use this water spot remover, and that it does produce hydrophobics. There is no hydrophobic properties in this, but it's just that Lotus Effect in action. So don't get scared about that. This is not leaving any protection behind. It's just that phenomenon. And a couple of people you can go and check out, and they'll help you explain that a little bit better. But that's it from Omni Garage. Go down, and if you want to buy this product, use the code OMNIGARAGE at thehouseofrags.com. That will give you a discount of 10% at checkout. Buy yourself some DIY products, and stay tuned for more videos from Omni Garage. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.